हाँ जी रेडियो हाँ जी 1674 AM ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਯੂਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਰਜੇ ਪੁਨੀਤ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਅਤੇ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਵਿਦ ਅਸ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ Dan Andrews. How are you?
I'm very well. And you going along all right?
Perfectly fine.
Excellent.
So Dan is here at Shri Durga Temple Rockbank, and he made some amazing announcements regarding multiculturalism, regarding Indian community. So Dan, what are those announcements?
So if we're re-elected, we're going to have a $50 million fund that'll support multicultural and multi-faith communities right across our state, not just in Melbourne, but right across Victoria. And fully 10 million of that 50 million will go towards the Indian community in all of the diversity that makes up the Indian community. So 5 million will support 2 brand new community centres, one in the west, one in the southeast, and then the other 5 million will be for lots of smaller projects, lots of grants for different Indian community groups. So it's really giving the power to the community to come forward with good ideas, to come forward with projects, and then we'll be able to fund them out of that $10 million fund, which is a very substantial investment, but I think the Indian community is worth it given it's the biggest Indian community in the whole country.
Yeah.
It's the best Indian community in the whole country, and those numbers are growing. The census recently told us that the Indian Victorian community will be the biggest multicultural community very, very soon. So we have to build and we have to work very hard.
Yeah. So what do you think, because in your last tenure, in your last election campaign, so if we compare to right now, so what is the big difference of Indian community as we compare to last election campaign?
Well, this is about funding that I think gives the power to the community to come up with the ideas. We need that community centre in the west, we need one in the southeast, but the exact details of that can be worked through by the community. There'll be lots of different ideas, lots of different proposals. But to have a dedicated fund within the bigger 50 million is new, that's special. And I hope it's seen as a sign of respect and a sign of recognition that the Indian community is a massive part of our multiculturalism, and it's getting bigger and bigger every single year.
Yeah.
So we want more and more people to come and choose to build a new life here, and this fund will mean that we're able to keep pace with that growth. We're able to fund lots of smaller projects and some really big ones too, which is exactly what the Indian community is all about.
Yeah. So if we talk about your election campaign right now, so are you happy with that? Like how it's going?
Oh, look, election campaigns are a long, hard slog. You know, it's like a test batsman's innings. You've got to, just build up to the end. Look, we've got a positive, optimistic plan. Things like free kinder, free TAFE.
Yeah.
Building new hospitals, building new schools, bringing back the SEC, publicly owned renewable energy, and heaps of jobs, 59,000 jobs. So we take the profit out of your power bill. So instead of a private company owning that power station and charging people way too much, that power station will be owned by everybody. And any profits that are generated can go back into more energy, putting downward pressure on prices. Things like free kinder, $2,500 saving per child per year. So that's a massive saving.
Yeah.
Plus those early years, giving our kids the skills they need, the start they need, the best start for the best life. That's what we're all about. Plus road and rail, getting rid of more of those level crossings, buying new trains and making sure that they're made right here. All these things are part of a positive plan. And we'll be out making more and more announcements. We've got 20 days to go, and we'll keep on making announcements, and we'll keep on visiting lots of people across the state. And
so you talked about cricket. We'll come back to the cricket as well, because Cricket World Cup is going on. So every day you're making new announcements. Like yesterday, you made that mental health support for apprentices.
Correct.
And then new V-line services.
Yep.
So every day new announcement. Now 20 days or more, and you'll be making more 20 announcements, or like 40.
Well, there'll be lots, because I don't make all of them. I make some of them, but other members of the team are out there making other announcements. But look, we've been through as a state a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And our political opponents, the Liberals, they cut. We don't do that. We build. We get things done. We support communities to be stronger. And it's only through investment. You've got to build your way out of COVID, not cut your way out of COVID. If you cut hospital funding, you cut school funding, you cut jobs, you hurt people. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep building, keep investing, keep making positive, optimistic announcements for the future. And then, of course, the Victorian community, including our brilliant Indian community, will make a choice about whether they want to keep on pushing forward, making our economy bigger, making our businesses more prosperous, making our state more successful for the future, or whether we go back to a time when not very much happened and there were cuts to all the things that matter in education, in health, in transport projects. That's not the answer. But again, that's not my decision. That's a decision for the Victorian community.
So you talked about future. We saw a survey where it has proven that by 2030, Melbourne will be the biggest city in terms of population.
Exactly.
So what will be your roadmap if you'll be re-elected to, in terms of sources and resources?
Well, the biggest thing is it's not just road, it's got to be rail as well. So we're building the suburban rail loop. So this is about taking 200,000 cars off the roads. Otherwise, the city will just choke. We won't be able to go where we need to go. We won't be able to enjoy all the quality of life that we enjoy now. Sadly, the other side of politics, the conservative side of politics, they want to cancel that project. That doesn't make any sense to me. We're going to be the biggest city in the country. We're going to have the biggest Indian community in the country, even bigger than it is now. It'll be the biggest single multicultural community in all of our state. We have to build. We've got to get things done. We've got to push forward. Now's not the time to cut. Now is the time to invest and to build and to work hard. And that's what we've done these last 8 years. And if we're given that great gift of a third term, we'll continue doing that. We'll continue doing that. And, you know, I have to say, one of the great honours of this job, I've been welcomed into so many homes, so many places of worship, temples, gurudwaras. I've been invited and made so warmly welcome by people in the Indian community who are about family, faith, hard work, being generous, and making a profound contribution in every part of our economy, every part of our Victorian community. It's so impressive. So we're here today to show our respect. We're here today to say thank you. And we're here today also to make some really significant announcements. That $50 million fund, that's a massive investment. It's not a cost, it's an investment because it'll reward all of us.
Yeah. So let's talk about cricket.
Yes.
So I know it's a sad for us because Australia is now out of the World Cup. So how you see this?
Well, we've got, all of us can have second and third teams, you see, because we're such a multicultural community. But look, I got to say, I was a bit busy. I couldn't be at the India-Pakistan match. But how impressive is this? They're doing all the research. They're trying to work this out. But it seems like we may have had the biggest gathering of people of Indian background anywhere in the world outside India at that match. That's a special thing. That could only happen in Melbourne. Only. So India, Zimbabwe tonight. Let's hope that's a good match, but not too good. India needs to win, but I'm pretty confident they will.
So last question, how to remember your MyGov password?
Sorry?
How to remember your MyGov password? Because I was checking your Insta post, like I don't know who posted.
MyGov?
Yeah. What is the easiest way?
I'm not very good with passwords. The password, the word that unlocks everything, the word that sets us up for the future, the word that's critical, Labor. Labor. On the 26th of November, Labor.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for giving us time. Thank you, and all the best. Thank you. So, Dan Andrews, I say Melbourne, Shri Durga Temple, Rockbank पहुंचे हुए ने. So, बहुत thank you इन्हें था. So, election आ रही है ने November दे विच ज़रूर vote करियो. So, हुन मैं लेना इजाज़त. This is your अपना Puneet now signing off.